Hey, what's up guys? Yes, I'm Kristina from Leafy Luster, and today I want to turn this living room right here into a crime scene. Why, you might be asking? Well, today I want to propagate my Monstera Deliciosa Variegata right here, and as you can see, she is taller than me. She's a beautiful specimen, so why would I do that? Well, in her usual spot she is touching the ceiling and I just need to shorten her. But don't worry, I have prepared for this moment for several months now by air layering, and I think it is time to finally do the deed. Let's just get it over with. As for so many of us, my love of rare plants started with Monstera Variegata as well. It was my first true rare houseplant. I remember I got a cutting for like 50 euros, and at this time this was so much money to me and I was so afraid, and then it wouldn't want to root or it wouldn't want to grow, and I bought another plant that was already established. This one worked out really well. Then it stopped growing, then I chopped it up. Well, a few years later and a few more houseplants later, this baby has grown quite a bit. I'm pretty proud of that too, but it is growing a little bit too big for me now, and since I was already anticipating this moment, I prepared for it. I did air layer the plant like in February 2021. It's quite some months now in preparation. In the meantime, I have also air layered another point on the stem farther up because it was growing so tall again. So here we are now, spring, summer-ish. You might have noticed the moss balls on the stem. So down here is the first one that I took, and then up there is another one. My plan for this plant is, number one, take a huge ass top cutting. So I have air layered one of the nodes farther above, and I want to preserve the mature growth and just keep the plant going basically. Number two, I want to take a lot of stem cuttings to propagate and sell later on. Then I also need to take out this separate plant in there. This was the previously mentioned cutting, all half moon leaves since the beginning, but I feel like the big plant is like stealing the nutrients from the smaller one and it's not growing as fast as I would like it to. I first need to check the moss balls with the air layered node and then just check how much roots we have to work with. And you already know this is going to be a mess. So as you might know, Monstera is usually pretty quick to root in water, perlite, moss, whatever you want. So it's not necessary to air layer beforehand, but with some plants, especially if you're emotionally attached, or if you want the top cutting to keep growing like nothing happened after the chop, it is good to air layer beforehand, and it's a technique I like to use very often, especially on rare or expensive houseplants. Now then, it's really hard. I basically feel that it's mostly roots in there by now. I mean, it was like over a year of root growth in there. I might have left it on for too long. I would advise to not keep it on for this long because you will not be able to take off all the sphagnum. I guess like 3 to 5 months is probably more than enough. This is not going great. Oh my gosh, it's such a pain in here. This is my mistake. This is the moss ball that will be attached to the top cutting. And I hope it will be a little bit better to remove. It is impossible for me to untangle this, I think. And anyways, recently someone told me that it's okay to put up moss into soil. I hope it works. With this, it is officially time to get our tools. You can already see I have a few things in mind about those cuttings and this plant. First, let's clean our scissors with some alcohol. Let it soak for a little bit. I also got some water for the stem cuttings. Well, then I also want to try and propagate in lacquer, so I have some washed lacquer here. And then I want to try to plant one of the cuttings or maybe the smaller Monstera here into this glass, and I want to try this no drainage type of thing. And with this, my dudes, let's make this plant a little bit more manageable, shall we? As with all plants, you want to cut in between two nodes. We have one right here, and then the next one would be here where the next leaf is. So if you cut somewhere around here, you're fine. So we will take our cut. Okay. Well, now I need to remove it from the pole. Et voila, we've got the top cutting right here. It's like 3, 6, 8 leaves tall. We've got the moss root ball down here. And I will pot this one up as is and see if it continues growing. Now I've got this piece of plant left. Still pretty big and nice. I want to cut the rest of the plant into single node cuttings. The left we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 nodes. This one is the previous node, so this one I will keep. You can also see how nicely variegated the stem is. It goes on and on and on, and it's really beautifully variegated all throughout the plant. So I'm pretty sure that all of the cuttings will have good variegation. Here's a pretty good example of a prime node that we have. So we have 2 aerial roots that will grow into proper roots too. We have the clean cuts on top and bottom. And another thing that is very important, you need a auxiliary bud. So this nibble right here is the auxiliary bud. That's where the new growth will come from. Further down on the stem we see this little nub, which is just another aerial root emerging. So this is not the auxiliary bud. We have an extremely long aerial root on here. We'll have those 2 cuttings as well. This cutting is kind of ridiculous because it has like a ridiculous amount of roots. So it will be kind of interesting to see if it will grow the auxiliary bud faster than the other cuttings. And the nice thing with Monstera, usually you have enough internodal spacing, so you don't need to worry about where to cut your plant. I have one little issue here. Those cuttings, they have grown into the soil and I can't really take them out. So I will have to uproot everything and then just see if I can separate the cuttings from the pot or from the mother plant. Let's take this baby out. Untangle it a little bit. And as you can see, typical Monstera fashion, we have a lot of rootage going on. This is actually the small little root system of our separate plant. You still see the chunk where it was propagated from and then grew the new plant. So you see the aerial root of this plant has already grown into the full root system. So these will be pretty easy to pot up immediately and then just keep growing. Same goes for this one and those 2. We are off to potting. I think these sizes might be fitting. Let's start with this mess. Since those usually don't hold up on their own, I will put in little sticks to attach them to. Cutting. Oh my gosh. Why am I like this? Okay, well, I wanted to clean anyways. A little bit more careful. Cutting number 1 is finished. This is the mother plant. This is the original leaf still. Always try to put it in in a circle. Yeah, so it will look something like this. Again, stake it. This one holds up on its own as well, which is nice. I seriously need some more space because I keep propagating plants and running out of space to put plants or propagations. It hits me now that I'm going to have a ton of little Monstera elbow propagations and mini plants soon, which is so exciting. And I'm also excited to pot this one up separately because I think it will look super cute. This one I really want to make nice. So a big inspiration is probably Unplanned Parenthood, the YouTube channel. You probably all know her. She also has a lot of videos on like this whole no drainage thing. I'm just going to put some lacquer on the bottom and then pot the plant into regular soil on top. I think that is my plan. Yeah, I guess it will be okay. Here goes nothing. Fill it up with soil. It's really exciting to do something new once in a while. You would think that after a while you have done and tried everything in like the houseplant universe, but obviously no, you haven't. Oh my gosh, I'm making such a mess. This is my finished product, you guys. I'm really curious to see how this one behaves. I will monitor it closely. I filled it up till here with soil. There's still a little bit of space for watering, and you can still see the separate layer of lacquer down there. So let's see how this goes. I will obviously just take it out if I notice that it's not doing well, but yeah, I hope it does. I think it's time to pot up our big top cutting. And I really hope it does well. Please, please, please wish me luck and cross your fingers because I really want it to just keep growing. It looks like this. And I want to pot it into this pot. I've already arranged the roots inside and I'm just leaving on the moss ball in hopes that it's not detrimental to the plant. I also want to attach the pole back in because I like having it straight. Well, let's attach it. Done! I'm done. I can't believe I'm done. Okay, so this is it now. This is the top leaf. It isn't pregnant right now, so I'm really curious to see how long it will take for the next leaf to emerge and if it will keep growing nicely. But it looks really nice. Yes. I will also pot up this cutting with the huge moss ball. It's an experiment. Yeah, seems about right. Ta-da! Done. Here is my little bouquet of Monstera propagations. I will just pop them in the water. Plain water here and then lacquer here. I think it was long enough for my stem cuttings to dry out a little bit. They will probably root like in a week. The actual new growth from the auxiliary bud will probably take a little while longer. Well, this looks really nice and I'm really excited to see how well the water propagations do in comparison to the lacquer propagations. These are all of the plants. It's quite a lot that I chopped and propped and potted today. I will now water all of the plants that need to be watered, that I potted up, and then find a warm and probably bright space for them, maybe a windowsill because I don't have a greenhouse I can put them into. I have one little bonus tip. Whenever you are taking a top cutting that you have air layered and you potting it up and it's quite a big top cutting, like for example this guy right here, you have the possibility to put like a big plastic bag on top of it, so just over the whole thing if you have something big enough at least, and this will ensure that the plant doesn't lose too much moisture while it's still like acclimatizing to its new environment, and this will increase your success rate even more. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little nerve-wracking propagation action. If you're into even more propagations, then check out this playlist right here. I'll see you next time. Until then, enjoy your plants and goodbye!